All right, let me set the stage for what we're about to examine together. This case involves Officer James Cooch of the Orange City Police Department and a 19-year-old named Bryson Early. What starts as a simple parking violation somehow escalates into a disorderly conduct arrest, and that escalation is exactly what we need to scrutinize under constitutional law. Now, I want to be clear about my approach here. I am not here to carry water for anyone, not for the badge and not for the civilian. I am here to apply the law, Fourth Amendment seizure doctrine, Florida's disorderly conduct statute, use of force standards under Graham v. Connor, and let the legal analysis lead us to the truth. This is not about emotion. This is about what the Constitution actually requires and what it actually permits. If you want legal analysis that goes deeper than headlines and actually teaches you something, subscribe now. Let's break this down together.
Big, giant vehicle. No parking lane. Alpha 82 Central. Can you show me out at the Publix with a parking complaint, please?
Dispatch message. Call type. Illegal parking. Location. 2556.
11 Alpha 82 Central. Copy a Florida trailer tag.
82.
Central, can you copy a Florida truck tag? Copy.
She has like a list.
Can you all make an announcement to have the moron that's parked in the fire lane, you can say moron over the intercom if you want, I'll give you permission, to move out of the fire lane with this big giant truck and boat?
Okay. I'll get the license there.
Are you in the truck?
I'm moving right now.
Okay. License and registration and proof of insurance, please.
Hey, my truck.
Okay, well, someone can get it for me.
What's the reason for that, though?
Because you're parked in a fire lane. And it says no parking.
Okay, so here's where the legal foundation gets established. Officer Cooch calls in a parking complaint at a Publix and approaches what he describes as a giant vehicle with a boat attached, parked in a fire lane. Now, let me be precise about what the law actually says here. Orange City's parking ordinance, section 16-30, explicitly prohibits parking in designated fire lanes. This is not a discretionary matter. Fire lanes exist because emergency response vehicles need unobstructed access, and a truck with a boat trailer, that is exactly the kind of obstruction that creates legitimate public safety concerns. So when Bryson asks, what's the reason for that though, after being asked for license and registration, I need to pause here. The officer has already articulated the reason. You're parked in a fire lane that says no parking. That is a facially valid basis for the contact. Now, here's what matters legally. Under the Fourth Amendment, a brief investigative stop for a traffic or parking violation is constitutionally permissible when the officer has observed a violation. This is well-established doctrine going back to Wren v. United States in 1996. The officer's subjective motivations are irrelevant if the objective basis for the stop exists. So far, this is textbook lawful contact.
Yeah, well, if there was a fire in this liquor store, I don't know, out in the parking lot.
Do you see anywhere in this parking lot to park at, dude?
Yep, absolutely. There's plenty out there.
We're not pulling. Look at this for you. It ain't my truck.
Well, whose truck is it?
It's his. I just told you that, dude. Ask him.
Were you driving or was he driving?
He was.
Well, he was driving. Okay, well then. So give me your license, please, sir. It doesn't matter if it's his truck. You were driving.
You need that?
Yeah. Yes, please. You understand why I'm frustrated, right?
I work here, I understand.
Okay.
Dude, there's nowhere to park. And it's like,
There
I
are
feel like there's a
plenty of
million
places.
things to look at.
There
And you were
are-
scouting the parking lot. I knew when you were sitting right there, you were going to get me when I walked in.
Well, then why did you park here?
Because there was nowhere else to go when I went in. I
There
pulled
are
over there.
plenty of parking spaces over there, and you're getting loud with
Write
me.
me a damn ticket then.
I will.
You little ego too high for that little fit you got on.
Yeah, okay. What is your deal?
You, bro.
You are in a parking spot that if there was a fire in this liquor store right now, I don't give a crap.
5 minutes, bro.
I don't care. You're breaking the law.
And you're mad about it because your ego's too high.
I have no ego. You know what I came here? I came here to simply go get a lunch. That's all I came here for.
Give me a ticket. I don't gotta listen to what you say.
That's fine. Do me a favor, roll down your front and back windows,
Can't
please.
do that, buddy.
Yeah, you can.
We weren't driving it. When you gave us the ticket, it's for sitting still, isn't it?
Nope, I can go ahead and check this too. Where did you get your law degree from?
What was that?
Where did you get your law degree from? Huh? Your law degree? Did you get one?
Oh,
okay, that's what I think.
Business, buddy.
Yeah, go ahead and roll the windows down for me, sir.
Keys are inside of it. Wants to get it for anything you can because you got.
Yep, that's good. Go ahead and roll this one down. Yep.
You know that? I'm not listening. You don't need to shut the fuck up. Mind your business. Mind your business. Sit your over there.
Now you're disturbing the peace.
Bro, get your hands off me, bro. Bro, you see this? You see this? You see this angry little? Look at him, bro.
Nope. Your attitude caused this.
My attitude, you're mad because I called your friend, bro.
My friend?
Yeah.
Yep.
You're mad, bro. That's all there is. You have no right to arrest me right now. For
You're
what?
disturbing the peace right now.
How's that?
I have all these people right now that...
Why don't you get him for walking up on your traffic stop then, huh? Oh, that's what I thought. That's what I thought.
He can walk up on a traffic stop all he wants.
And this is where it starts going sideways. Did you catch what just happened? The officer says 2 more charges and asks about a law degree when the driver questions him. That response right there tells me everything about where this encounter is heading. Let me be absolutely clear about what Florida Statute 877.03 actually requires for disorderly conduct. Under State v. Saunders from 2003, the Florida Supreme Court narrowed this statute significantly. The court held that speech alone cannot constitute disorderly conduct unless it amounts to fighting words or incites an immediate breach of the peace. Not annoyance, not frustration, not even profanity directed at an officer. What did Bryson Early actually do here? He questioned the parking situation. He expressed frustration. He asked where the officer got his law degree. None of it meets the constitutional threshold established in Saunders. The First Amendment protects the right to criticize police officers during encounters. This is settled law. In City of Houston v. Hill, the Supreme Court struck down ordinances that criminalize speech directed at officers precisely because criticism of police is at the core of protected expression. So when this officer starts talking about charges because someone questioned him, that is constitutionally dangerous territory.
11 Alpha 82 Central. Can I get another unit to my
Oh, God.
I'm sorry, they're really insane. I'm trying to be nice, but like...
He just needs to shut his mouth.
Well, you're letting get on, aren't you?
Shut up!
Nope. Good in term.
You getting me up for work?
Yep.
It ain't gonna stick. I don't care.
Stop.
There's nothing to stick on.
Spread your feet.
I'm gonna spread them a little farther.
Oh, I'm going on my boat. What do you think I have in there? No, you're not going on your boat today.
You think it's gonna stick for real, don't you?
It don't matter. You're going to jail tonight. I'm sorry? No, you've been cool the whole time. I'm sorry. I'm bleeding on this hand, so.
I'm not trying to find a problem.
No, I understand.
With the tent. Can I get that ticket?
No, he's the one that's driving it. So
you can't.
all the tickets are going to him
So
because he's the one that was driving the vehicle. So you said that he was driving. He admitted to driving. So
It ain't gonna stick. I don't care. Did you hear that? The officer just admitted on his own body camera that he doesn't care whether the charge is legally valid. That statement is devastating from an evidentiary standpoint. Now let me walk you through what Graham v. Connor actually requires here. The Supreme Court's 1989 decision established that all claims of excessive force must be analyzed under the Fourth Amendment's objective reasonableness standard. You evaluate from the perspective of a reasonable officer on scene, not with 20/20 hindsight. But here's the critical piece the 11th Circuit has developed. In cases like Nolan v. Isbell, the court recognized that de minimis force during an arrest generally doesn't rise to constitutional violation. However, and this matters, that analysis presumes a lawful arrest in the first place. When the underlying arrest lacks probable cause, the entire force calculus shifts. Every hand placed on Bryson Early, and every moment of physical restraint becomes a potential Fourth Amendment violation because there was no lawful basis for the seizure. You're watching an officer who just confessed his charges won't hold up legally, while simultaneously placing handcuffs on a 19-year-old. The force might look minimal, but applied to an unlawful arrest, that transforms everything constitutionally.
I just had to drop this fool over here. Started out as illegal parking. He's causing a ruckus out here. I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. He's not saying, too much to people that are going by. Somebody's walking by, and as they're walking by, he's telling them, you need to chill the f*** out. And then he starts yelling and screaming, causing a ruckus over here. So he's got all these people that are going into the store that all just stopped. So we got disturbing. I got him for disturbing the peace. Yeah, he's disorderly. Yeah. He's the owner of the truck, but he was the one that was driving. So I was just writing him citations for his tint, the parking, and no insurance. And then he wanted to run his mouth to people that were out here.
How about you?
Yeah. So.
Juvenile?
Say it?
Juvenile?
No. Well, juvenile.
What's his name? Well, I mean, you got other victims on scene?
They just went inside. I got him screaming and hooting and hollering in front of people that are going inside. So I got disorderly all day long.
Okay.
Hey, will you just keep an eye on my vehicle, please? I need to see if I can get some video footage from the guys from just a few minutes ago, right? Is there cameras right here in front of the store?
I'm not sure. I can get a manager for you.
Okay.
Now he's going to get awful, so what side is he on?
He's on that side.
Yo, what are you doing? I'm knocking my head on the thing to turn some AC on. It's hot in here. Yo got me he put his cuffs on as tight as he can because he's mad.
Lower your voice.
He has been like this the entire time.
Please.
The whole time he's been disrespectful, absolutely bratty, and it's absolutely ridiculous. All he had to do was simply abide by what I was saying. He's parked in a fire lane. I said, I need your license, registration, proof of insurance, and immediately, that's when the attitude kicked off.
Nothing on me, dude.
Bryson.
Besides a ticket.
Shut your mouth. It makes it.
Go get the footage of him slamming on my head. Go get that.
I did slam you on your head. Why? Because you were mouthing off to a citizen that was walking in.
You're telling me a citizen's allowed to walk up to the traffic stop and start cussing me out?
A citizen can walk by here and say whatever. It's freedom of speech.
So I can say whatever I want back. Yes or no?
No, you are actually causing a disturbance.
So you're saying I'm not allowed to cuss back, but
you are causing a disturbance.
Okay, just answer my question. Yes or no? Did he walk up and start cussing me out? I wasn't here. I'm asking him. See how he's walking around?
Were you a witness? Did you see what happened?
I didn't.
Could you pull over here for a moment and fill out a sworn written statement for me?
No, I don't want a ticket.
You're not going to get a ticket. Just pull up here and or park over here and I just need to get your ID real quick. Were you a witness? No? Okay.
But how does he have the right to have an attitude with me and I can get back to you? He was throwing on the ground. His buddy was cussing at me. He doesn't want to tell any of y'all that was his friend. And that's why he's mad. Why does it grab you? Why does it grab you to get arrested? Alright, no one's going to jail as of yet. Okay, let him do what he has to do, and we will go from there. But bang your head up against him is not going to work.
Start with your name here and tell me exactly what you saw.
Okay.
I mean, you can sit in your car and do it, okay?
Yeah, all these customers going inside Publix looking.
11 Alpha 82 Central copy 1 by Florida DL.
Did you need the manager for anything?
Yeah, I want to get the video footage.
Oh, okay, got it.
So let me give you a rundown. So he pulled up here. I was just coming here to grab lunch. I parked over here. He pulls up. He sees me. He even said on body camera that I knew you were going to do this to me when I saw you. So he pulls up here, doesn't move his car. I pull my car back over here. I thought maybe somebody was inside. I'm tapping on the window. Nobody's in there. So I go inside. I'm trying to make an announcement over the loudspeaker to have someone move their car. He comes up to me. He's like, "It's my car. I'll fucking move it right now." So he comes out. He immediately starts giving me attitude. Just attitude. So I start writing him citations. Okay. I wrote him a citation for the parking. I wrote him a citation for the tint on his window because he's got illegal tint. And then I wrote him for no proof of insurance. Before I even had a chance to write for the or hand him the citations, he started mouthing off to a customer that was going inside because the customer was like, "You need to chill out and calm down." Now there's three.
Now we get to watch the officer construct his narrative for backup. And I need you to pay attention to the discrepancies here because they matter enormously for accountability. He tells his partner Bryson was screaming and hooting and hollering, causing a ruckus. But what did we actually see on the body cam footage? A frustrated 19-year-old expressing displeasure about receiving multiple citations. That's a massive gap between the official account and the documented reality. This is precisely why body cameras exist. The International Association of Chiefs of Police has documented repeatedly that officer reports and camera footage diverge at troubling rates. When those divergences occur, the footage becomes the controlling evidence. Here's what troubles me most. Officer Cooch is actively seeking witness statements and surveillance footage to corroborate his version of events. He's building a case. But he already has the best evidence possible strapped to his own chest. And that footage contradicts his characterization. The Orange City Police Department, under Chief Jerome Miller, who just took leadership in January, has an opportunity here. New leadership means new standards for accountability. When an officer's verbal recounting diverges materially from recorded evidence, that's not a minor discrepancy. That goes to the heart of credibility and departmental integrity. The public is watching how this gets handled.
There's three other people, including this lady here, who witnessed the entire thing. She said that he was acting like a complete and total. And then I took him down to the ground because he was, walking towards that other customer. As he was walking towards the customer, he kind of had like a aggressive.
Did you come back? Give him like verbal commands?
No. At that point in time, I just said, "Now you're going to jail," and I took him down.
Okay.
I put him in handcuffs.
Listen to what he just said. He kind of had like an aggressive permission. That phrase alone tells you everything about how this officer processes encounters. He's inventing threat where there wasn't any. Here's what the law actually requires. Under Graham v. Connor, the officer must articulate specific, objective facts that would lead a reasonable officer to perceive imminent physical threat. Walking towards someone in a parking lot does not meet that standard, not even close. And this is the broader problem I need you to understand. The 11th Circuit has repeatedly held that generalized claims of aggressive demeanor without specific threatening conduct cannot justify physical takedowns. In Lee v. Ferraro, the court found that compliance negates the need for force escalation. Bryson was 19 years old, frustrated about parking tickets. He questioned an officer's authority, which is constitutionally protected behavior. None of that creates lawful grounds for a physical takedown. This case should matter to every citizen watching. The distinction between legal authority and constitutional overreach defines whether we live under rule of law or rule of force. When officers can transform protected speech into arrests and verbal frustration into physical force without consequence, we all become less free. That's not opinion. That's the constitutional framework our courts have built. And it exists precisely to prevent encounters like this one.
So I got him for disorderly in the citations.
Who's the other people setting up?
Those are his friends.
How old is this guy?
19. 19. Yeah, 19 years old.
Did you get it? Did you get no injuries to anybody?
No. Except I pinched myself in my handcuffs.
I asked if there's injuries, and you asked
Nope.
if there's anything else, because then it'd be a use of force.
Oh, no injuries.
Any type of injuries.
Nope. He's getting the citations, but they can go ahead and take the boat and everything and go.
So there it is. He's got the citation, but they can go ahead and take the boat. That's how this ends. A 19-year-old gets physically taken down and arrested for disorderly conduct over a parking ticket, and the officer wraps it up like it's just another Tuesday. Let me tell you what we witnessed today because it matters. We watched an officer transform a routine fire lane violation into a constitutional crisis. The parking violation was legitimate. I said that at the beginning and I stand by it. Section 16-30 of Orange City's ordinance clearly prohibits fire lane parking, and that truck with a boat trailer created a genuine obstruction. That part was lawful. But everything that followed represents a masterclass in how constitutional rights get eroded one encounter at a time. Bryson Early exercised his First Amendment right to question police authority. He expressed frustration. He asked whether the officer had a law degree. All of that is protected speech under City of Houston v. Hill. None of it constitutes fighting words or incitement to immediate breach of peace as required by Florida Statute 877.03 and the Saunders decision. The officer knew this. He admitted on camera the charge wouldn't stick. And yet he proceeded anyway because in that moment, accountability felt distant and authority felt absolute. This is where I need you to zoom out with me. What happened to Bryson Early is not an isolated incident. It represents a pattern that plays out in departments across this country where officers conflate compliance with submission and interpret any challenge to their authority as criminal conduct. The 11th Circuit has been clear. Lee v. Ferraro, Feast v. City of Aventura, case after case establishing that compliance negates the need for force escalation, and that protected speech cannot be criminalized simply because it annoys an officer. The question now falls to Orange City's leadership. Chief Jerome Miller was appointed in January of this year, becoming the city's first African-American police chief. He brings nearly 3 decades of law enforcement experience. This encounter presents an opportunity, not just for discipline, but for institutional transformation. Will his administration review this footage with the same scrutiny we applied today? Will they acknowledge the gap between the officer's narrative and the recorded evidence? Because here's what I want you to take away from this analysis. The law exists to protect everyone, officers and civilians alike. When we allow constitutional boundaries to blur, we don't create order, we create arbitrary authority. And arbitrary authority corrodes the very trust that effective policing requires. You have a role in this. Every person watching has the power to engage with these issues. Know your rights. Understand what officers can and cannot lawfully do during encounters. Film when appropriate. Exercise your First Amendment protections respectfully but firmly. And demand accountability from the institutions that serve your communities. If this analysis helped you understand the law better, drop a comment below. Tell me your name and where you're watching from. I read every single one. Subscribe if you want more rigorous legal breakdowns of police encounters, because we're going to keep examining these cases with the precision they deserve. The Constitution doesn't enforce itself. We do. Through attention, through understanding, through refusing to accept that it won't stick is an acceptable basis for an arrest. Until next time, stay informed and stay engaged.